got 6 best of Redditor update stories for you guys today. Starting it off, with really weird things are happening to me. Not sure if it's an elaborate prank or if I'm seriously mentally ill. Dare I propose carbon monoxide? I feel like that one's famous on Reddit. But stick around for 5 more absolutely insane best of Redditor update stories, such as, am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor I dated her husband? As well as the story that we're going to be ending the video on. My ex dumped me in January after 9 years together because he didn't think I was wife material. Now he reached out wanting to talk because he needs to get something off his chest. My prediction is either he cheated or all of a sudden she's wife material because bro's lame. Yo, we got juicy stories today. Y'all know the drill. Let's lock in here and read some Reddit. Really weird things are happening to me. Not sure if it's an elaborate prank or if I'm seriously mentally ill. We have a 22 female OP. Original post is from November 24th, 2015. Okay. I've never, ever felt the need to post here, but I feel like I'm losing my mind. I don't even know where to start. My mind is so jumbled. I guess it started 2 weeks ago at work. I work in a factory, but I don't do the labor. I'm more of a spreadsheet maker / book balancer / secretary type thing. Really informal, but it's my uncle's company and I needed a job, yada yada, good pay. I was sitting at my desk with nothing to do, and I hear my boss, not my uncle, just another coworker and a friend of his, go, Phil sighs as he looks at the weather. I look up like, huh? And he looks at me like, huh? He didn't say anything. I was like, that's weird, but oh well. Anyway, and then the next day I was talking to some coworkers on the floor, asking them work stuff, and one of them called me a bitch, but when I called him out, him and everyone else looked at me like I was insane. I apologized and we all laughed it off. Factory is loud, right? People mishear things all the time, except I was at Walmart. I know, class, and one of the workers there was putting away stock, and I swear to God, he looked straight at me and said, the chicken was just killed. But I asked him what he meant, and I felt so bad because he looked so confused and like I was crazy. He hadn't even opened his mouth apparently. Shit like this has been happening so much, and my friend even pulled me aside to ask if I was feeling okay. Small things are happening too. My boyfriend says he's making salmon for dinner. I hear him preparing salmon. I smell salmon. Then he brings it out and it's lasagna. I asked him where the salmon was, and he was like, what? I said lasagna tonight, and brushed it off like I'm being silly. I could have sworn this one shirt I owned was green and not teal. Shit is changing, and people are saying stuff, but they're not. People are narrating their lives sometimes. There's no way my friends could be pranking me. Not when random people on the street are doing this too. I'm so scared. I don't want to be thrown into a mental hospital. Not trying to offend mentally ill people. I'm just so scared. I feel like my mind is slowly melting. Y'all, I have no clue what this is, but a bunch of people in chat are saying brain tumor? Is that a thing? My brain is like, this is way above Reddit's pay grade. You need to go get help ASAP Rocky. This is so totally not chill, girl. I want to specify too, there's absolutely no way this is a prank. Either you're losing it and you have like schizophrenia or something, or what chat's saying with the whole brain tumor thing. Sounds like a horror movie. Yes, 100%. That is so scary, y'all. Like when reality isn't reality for you, I think that's when you gotta fucking hang up the skates. She should go to the hospital ASAP. That's what I'm thinking, bro. There's no way that there's not something, whether physically or mentally, wrong with her. Maybe if it was like just your coworkers or just your boyfriend, but boyfriend, coworkers, and strangers, there's something going on. Hopefully it's not brain tumor. Although as hard as it would be to operate on that, that would be the most like, if it's just a brain tumor, you could get it out type beat. Versus like, I think if she had like schizophrenia or like psychosis, I feel like that'd be a little bit harder. I guess you could get medicated for it, but I don't know. Commenter, you should go to the doctor, not just because there might be a physical or mental issue going on that needs to be addressed, but also so you can get an answer of what is going on. Don't keep yourself in limbo. That will drive you insane. Doctors aren't your enemy, and even if there's a mental issue going on, that doesn't automatically mean you get thrown into a mental hospital just like that. You've probably been around more people with mental disorders than you realize, and the vast majority of them can live a relatively normal life and live independently with some medical or psychiatric help. Go to the doctor. They're the professionals here. OOP replied, thank you. I'm in Canada and I made an appointment with my doctor. It'll be a week before I see her though. I can't believe how much this blew up. It happened again last night. Boyfriend said he was going to the bar. I shower and come out and ask why he's still here. OP's boyfriend, because I live here? OP, I thought you were going to the bar. OP's boyfriend, no. Maybe I'll go to the ER if it keeps happening. Honestly, I would just go to the ER, bro. This would drive me fucking nuts. There's no way I'm waiting for an appointment, and then on top of that, that appointment isn't actually gonna get you answers right away. I would just say fuck it and go to the ER. This commenter replied, not to terrify OP, but this happened to my mother as well, and it was a brain tumor for her. This seriously calls for a doctor as soon as possible. Another person said, yep, sounds pretty similar to a friend. Go get it checked. It's scary, but my friend, she's doing a whole lot better now. Yeah, I feel like that's something where like you don't want to wait because every second counts. We have 2 updates on this chat. Wow, one of them is literally a brand new update from 2025. Okay, I'm excited. Update November 29th, 2015, 5 days later. Wow, I never could have ever in my wildest imagination known that my last post would get this much attention. I was on my boyfriend's Reddit account on his phone and actually saw my own post near the first page. I was floored. Then he saw what I was looking at and we had a pretty awkward conversation. Basically asked me why I posted something like that. He'd read it, but only when he saw me on the page, it clicked that he saw the same username on my laptop on Reddit. He never imagined it was me. I did change some details about my life in the last post. So we talked for a long time, and finally he said that he was taking me to the emergency room. I didn't want to go. I just wanted to wait for my appointment, not because I didn't think it was serious, but because I had no clue how to explain what was happening to the doctors and the nurses, especially for it to warrant an emergency visit. No. Hold on. Boyfriend is definitely cooking. I agree with homeboy. This is not something you wait around for a week. Literally show them this Reddit post, honestly. Like, I think that's how you explain it. So we went and he was very understanding, just asked me how much I remembered from the past couple of days, stuff he said and stuff I'd apparently heard. We were both scared, ha ha ha. I got to the emergency room, very slow. I live in a smallish town, but we have a giant hospital for some reason. We're close to a lot of other towns, and they use our hospital, close to Toronto too. Anyway, it was slow, just one father and a sick child. I went in and basically had to explain what was happening, and honestly, the nurses were like, what the fuck? This bitch is crazy. But when I saw a doctor, he took me very, very seriously. It was very nice. He wrote down basically everything I said. I got some x-rays, and they asked me questions, you know, the whole spiel. Anyways, the point of this update was to tell you guys that I have a tumor. That's really scary writing out, but I have a tumor in my brain. It hasn't sunken in yet that tomorrow my brain is going to be under the knife. I don't want to share more because I've gotten a lot of messages from people who are like guessing my name and where I'm from. Apparently, I remind people of their friends or crazy exes. I'm scared to miss work, but my boss was more than understanding. He sort of looked at me like I was insane when I asked how long I should be out of work. I don't know. I need to pay rent. We'll figure it out. Thank you all for your love and support. I will update whenever I remember to. I am scared, but alive. That's so crazy to update 10 years later. I'll update you guys whenever I remember. You didn't remember for 10 years? That's so funny. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. If I was literally getting a surgery on my brain, my first thoughts after that surgery would not be, let me update Reddit, but like, damn, let's read the rest of it because holy shit. Update April 18th, 2025. Am I allowed to make an update here? I don't use social media much anymore, and Reddit looks completely different than the last time I logged in. My friend sent me this basically immediately after it was posted, asking if it was me. It was so long ago, I kind of cringed seeing how I wrote, but I'll give myself some slack because I was young and going through a terrible time. That boyfriend didn't last long. He bailed when we found out how... Whoa. That boyfriend didn't last long. He bailed when he found out how long my recovery would be and what it entailed. I moved back in with my family who are all nurses and caregivers, so it was really the smoothest recovery I could have had. Damn, boyfriend went from W to L so fucking fast? Like, he was like, Dub, let's push this and bring you to the emergency room. And then he was like, L, you know what? Fuck it, chicken strips, I'm out. That's sad. I did years of therapy, both physical and mental. I did eventually end up losing my factory job, but that honestly wasn't their fault. Admittedly, I no-showed to work a lot and was spiraling for a few years, but I eventually landed on my feet, found my dream man, in parentheses, lumberjack type. Sorry for being a Canadian stereotype. And his mother had gone through almost the same thing I did when she was younger, so we really bonded over that. I won't say I'm having a perfect time. Life is life. I'm child-free, have a job I tolerate, have money to spend on my friends and family, and am generally very happy. I keep off social media because I already survived a brain tumor. I'm not looking for more. And for Americans who are going to ask, yes, it was free. Must be fucking nice. I mean, not the brain tumor part, but the free healthcare. You guys know what I meant. All right, well, I'm glad it worked out for OP. I wish they would have gone more into like what their recovery entailed, just because I'm like kind of curious of what that recovery even looks like. Or if it's the same, like does everybody who has a brain tumor removed have to go through like the same level of recovery? Or does it kind of just depend how your brain heals, you know? That's fucking crazy, chat. Wow. Just wow. All right, well, if you start hallucinating some shit that people are saying, it's probably a brain tumor. The more you you know, I guess. Damn. Am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor I dated her husband? Originally posted in r/am I the a-hole. Original post March 25th, 2025. I, 33 female, became friendly with my neighbor, 37 female. Let's call her Emily. After I helped her move a few boxes into our building while her husband, 35 male, was in the hospital. I didn't meet Emily's husband until a few weeks later when she invited me over to dinner as a thanks. When I arrived first, Emily's husband had run out to pick up some wine, but when he came back, I was shocked to see Matt, a guy I had gone on 3 dates with a year ago before he suddenly ghosted me. He had a terrible poker face and tried to pretend like he didn't recognize me. I don't play those games. A year ago, unless they fucking speed ran that dating and marriage process, there's no way that he wasn't cheating on Emily. 100%. I asked how long they had been married and Emily said 3 years. She recognized there was tension and asked if we knew each other. He said no. I said yes, and told Emily that I had gone on dates with him a year ago. She became very upset and asked me to leave, which I did. The next day, Emily reached out and said she didn't appreciate that I lied about when I dated her husband. He told her we had dated 4 years ago, before they were married. I didn't even live in this city 4 years ago. And even if we had dated 4 years ago, they would have been engaged at that point. Either way, he would have been cheating. I sent her screenshots of our text from the year before and from Bumble of his profile, which was still active. She never responded, but when I saw her in the lobby yesterday, she wouldn't even look me in the eye. I don't know if they're still together, and Emily hasn't responded to my text, so am I the a-hole? Girl, nah. You can't be the a-hole for giving her all the information. Normalize telling people when their partners cheat on them. It is the right thing to do. There is absolutely nothing else you should do. It's Emily's fault that she doesn't want to believe this. If Emily wants to live in a house of lies, let Emily live in her house of lies. You've given her the facts. You did nothing wrong. You tried to help her out. In no way, shape, or form that you are the a-hole. That being said, from now on, leave her alone. You did your part. You gave her the information. There's no point in following up. That's kind of one of those, here's the information. Do with it what you will. I'm gonna go about my life. Her anger is misplaced. Yeah, especially if OP had evidence. I remember one YouTuber said that OP was petty to say it in front of him. What? That's fucking ridiculous. It's not petty to say that in front of him. I think no matter what, cheaters should be exposed. To say it's petty to just bring up the fact that like you guys are having this tension because you are now putting together in your head that this man cheated on his wife with you, that is not petty. That is just being a good person. Even further, like, I don't think this would make her petty at all if she did do this, but I think this further supports that there's no way she's petty. It's not like she just bursted out, oh my God, you're a cheater. Like, the wife asked. The wife could tell there was tension and asked OP if they knew each other, and then she was like, yeah, bro, and here's the story. That's crazy to say she's petty. I don't know which YouTuber said that, but they are not cooking. There's a mini update in the comments half an hour later. Update, Emily just stopped by. We had a quick chat, but she let me know that she's kicked Matt out and she thanked me for telling the truth. She also found out that I was not the only person he dated while they were married. Giving her space now, but wanted to share an update since it happened so quickly after posting. Bro, that's so awful to do. Girl just signed a lease at a new place that they're just moving into. Oh my God. This poor girl. Like, who's gonna take up that lease? Are they gonna have to break it? Like, I would be so fucking mad. We got another update comment, March 28th, 2025, 3 days later. A happy final update. Over the last few days, I've been hanging out with Emily along with her sister and 2 best friends forever, who flew in to support her. Tuesday night, she texted me, space is overrated, wine, ? And that was that. Matt confessed to everything and more, and it was all a lot worse than anyone thought, but this isn't about him anymore. We've all had some really good, sometimes difficult conversations, but it's all been very cathartic and surprisingly positive. I found myself in the company of some pretty amazing women, which is why this situation has turned out the way it has. I moved to this city 2 years ago without knowing anyone, and it certainly wasn't an easy thing to tell someone that I'd hoped would be a friend. To be honest, it kind of felt like word vomit in the moment. And when I first posted, I admittedly wanted validation because there was a large and loudly nagging part of me that thought I'd done the wrong thing. So I'm very grateful to have come through what began as a really awful situation with 4 awesome new friends and far more laughs than tears. Emily, her sister, and I now are planning bi-weekly brunch dates. And we also discovered that we have some other friends and interests in common. This post got far more attention than I ever anticipated, so I did end up telling Emily about it. Her sister joked that we should start a podcast together, and we both shouted no. So this is both the end and new beginning of the story. Thank you all for the support and kind words for both me and Emily. We're going to be just fine. Signing off. Crazy that some woman's husband cheating on her with you led to like finding your new BFF. But hey, meeting new friends as adults is hard. We love a little trauma bond. I don't hate it. That's kind of cute. I'm glad it ended well. We love a happy ending. And we have Kitty! Wow. Hey, baby boy. Mwah. Beans, what do you have to say to the people? So controversial, yet so deep. Do you want to do my intro with me? Oh, he said no. Sorry, Dad, no intro. Oh, look at him. He's ready. He knows what time it is, chat. What time is it? It's Beans treat time. Oh, he fucking knows. Bro, he's doing the Sphinx pose. Look at him. Bro's got a caboose just like his daddy. It's genetic, chat. Look at him. Look at that caboose. Goddamn. Bro does not skip leg day. He's so handsome. I love him so much, y'all. We got some treaties for the boy. We did have a couple of donos today. A couple of sub gifts. Thank you, Lil Herb. I think Lil Herb donated like $20. And then we also had a bunch of people give me prime subs, gifted subs. I appreciate y'all. These treats are from you guys. You want your treaty? Right here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you chomp on those, Mr. Bacon, right there. Victory! Ah! He's a very, like, I'll love you by rubbing up on you, but I'm not gonna fucking hang out with you type cat, you know? Yeah, you're just such a sweet guy. Thank you for all the rubs. Thank you for the rubs. Can I boop you? What a sweet guy you are. Oh, sorry. He didn't like that. He didn't like that. I was going against the grain. I gotta go with the grain, right? Okay, buddy. Dad's gotta get back to reading, all right? But you stay cute. Am I the a-hole for beating my parents to the chase and moving out in the middle of the night? This is posted in r/am I the asshole. Original post, November 14th, 2023. I, 18 female, overheard conversations with my mom and dad, 39 female and 40 male, about how they planned to kick me out shortly after my 18th birthday. The way they were talking about it seemed like they were dead serious, and the way it was brought up multiple times made it seem like they were going to kick me out too. So I decided that I wouldn't give them the chance to kick me out and made plans with my friend Riley, 17 female, to stay at her place until I graduated and moved into a college dorm or had an apartment of my own. Riley's parents were horrified by the thought my parents would kick me out the second I turned 18 and agreed to let me stay at their place as long as I graduated high school. Riley, her parents, and my boyfriend Cole, 18 male, came after midnight to help me take my belongings to their car and drive me to Riley's house. My parents woke up in the middle of this and asked me what the hell was going on. I kind of shrugged and told them that I was moving out before they could kick me out. My parents tried to deny this and attempted to stop me from leaving, but there was nothing that they could do since I'm a legal adult. By the way, I wasn't just going to leave in the middle of the night without any goodbye. I already put a note on the kitchen table where my mom goes to first thing in the morning, explaining what happened. I mean, shit, bro, if anybody doesn't deserve an explanation and deserves to like fucking panic, it's these parents. Right now I'm at Riley's house in their spare bedroom, and I've gotten bombarded with calls from my parents asking me to come back and not to tell my grandparents about this. In one text, my mom called me an ungrateful bitch for leaving in the middle of the night and that she should have kicked me out sooner. Fuck your parents, bro. You need to fucking make sure everybody in your community knows how fucking awful of parents you are. Kicking you out before you're done with high school, fucking crazy. Kicking you out when you're at the ripe age of 18, fucking crazy. I think you shouldn't consider kicking out your child until they're above the age of like 25. Don't have a kid unless you can support that kid becoming an adult. I'll fucking say it. If you have financial stress or something like that where you need to kick your kid out at the age of 18, don't have kids. And if you find yourself in that situation, fucking figure it out. You brought that kid into this world without consent. It's your responsibility to set them up for adult life. If they're 25 and just like lazy and not doing anything, fine, give them the boot, 100%. But until then, they are your responsibility, bro. Easy, not the a-hole. The verdict on this one was clearly not the asshole. Thank God. We do have a couple of relevant comments. Here's a commenter that said, not the a-hole. If it was one conversation that you overheard, I'd say you overreacted. But since it was several times and no note of sarcasm or joking, then you did right. Also, your mom saying she should have kicked you out sooner is pretty clear. The fact that they don't want your grandparents to know also shows they know it's wrong. You don't mention any reasons why they would want to kick you out. Have you been in trouble? Do they dislike your boyfriend? Bad grades? OOP responded, I remember from a few conversations, 2 of those conversations unrelated to kicking me out, about my mom wanting an office. And I haven't been in big trouble, like getting in trouble with the law. Grades are pretty good, and they've so far expressed approval about Cole. And then we got an update, chat. December 17th, 2023, a month later. I certainly wasn't expecting to see my story on r/ when I woke up this morning, but here we are. I honestly forget about this account and struggled to remember the password, but here we go. A lot of shocking information was revealed, and this is just my brief, messy account of it. So, like you all suggested I do, I told my grandparents what happened with screenshots of my parents' texts after I went to Riley's house. Let me tell you that they were livid at what my parents were saying to me and the fact they were planning to kick me out. I ended up meeting with them and staying with them at their place for a few days while they tried to figure out what the fuck was going on with my parents. My mom and dad were being sent money monthly by my grandma and grandpa for my college fund since they mostly depleted it. After my brother Alex moved out because he was tired of them begging him for money due to their gambling addictions. My mom admitted that their plan was to kick me out, but act like I moved out willingly because I found an apartment and get double the money that they were previously getting to help out with my rent money once they asked my grandparents for it. Yo, that's fucking diabolical. They were basically gonna bamboozle the grandparents so that they had more gambling money. Yikes, dude. Grandma yelled at my mom over the phone and told her that my mom would never see a dime of her money again. She told my mom that she would rewrite her will so that the money my mom would have gotten would go to me, which my mom freaked out at. My dad blew up my phone one more time before I blocked both him and my mom's numbers for good, calling me an evil C word and telling me that he wished my mom aborted me. So yeah, I talked with my brother, Alex, and the only thing he really had to say, or ask, I guess, was why our parents' scummy behavior hadn't been called out when they were trying to legitimately steal his paychecks to go gamble. Wow, what the fuck? Listen, like, not trying to blame Alex here, but like, you knew that your parents were this fucking scummy and you just kind of like left your sister there with them. Like, I know it's not necessarily his responsibility, but as a brother, I would not do that to my siblings. Like, my siblings would have come live with me in college before I let that happen. I'm sorry if this is kind of rambly, but this was the best I could do at the moment. Thank you all for your advice, and I'll maybe give another update if anything else happens, but I doubt it will. What insane behavior. They need some rehab ASAP to get over that gambling addiction. I mean, that's bad if they're trying to put their addiction over their kid. Like, they need some serious help. My boyfriend of 10 months flipped out when I wouldn't keep my clothes at his place anymore. We have a 27 female OP, 30 male boyfriend. Original post January 10th, 2016. I'm looking for some advice with my relationship with my boyfriend. I don't know where to start, and I hope this makes sense. I'm disappointed and hurt by my boyfriend's reaction when I approached him about my concerns. Please know I'm not the petty type, nor do I ignore issues or problems. However, I make every attempt at being civil and calm when I do air any concerns. We each have our own place. A few months back, my boyfriend suggested I could keep some of my personal belongings at his house, i.e. a toothbrush, spare undies, 2 pairs, and PJs, long sleeve and pants. It made it easier in the sense that I didn't have to pack those items for when I stayed over. I stay over every other weekend. However, I've noticed that when I use my PJs or undies, they will stay in the hamper until I sleep over again. The first time I washed our clothes at his place, he said he meant to do them, but forgot. I said no problem. But if you don't want to do them, it's not a big deal. I'll just take my clothes home. He said it wasn't and agreed it's kind of gross to keep clothes around for 2 weeks unwashed. Nothing changed after this conversation, and this continued for a few more weeks. Except I noticed he wasn't washing his clothes either. Yesterday, I became agitated that I was washing both of our dirty clothes every time I'd stay over. My time went from being with him to being with his washer and dryer while he's raiding or gaming with his friends on his PC. Normally, this type of thing wouldn't bother me, but it's 2 weeks worth of his clothing, plus the PJs and undies I wore the last time I was there. I ended up bringing all my clothes home. As soon as he noticed my clothes were missing, he flipped out. He accused me of leaving him. Not the case at all. I waited until he was done yelling and in a soft, calm voice explained to him that I didn't want to leave my clothes there anymore because they were always dirty and I wanted to clean them. Furthermore, it wasn't fair of him to expect me to wash all of his clothes when I'm there. I told him when I come over, I'd like us to hang out, but find it difficult when I'm washing all of his clothes. He went on about having to work all the time. He works 10-hour days, 4 days a week, while I only go to school. I'm in a full-time post-grad program. Then he told me to grow up. He hasn't spoken to me since then, Reddit, I'm at a loss. I really don't need him to wash my clothes. Having them there was supposed to be convenient. Instead, it's frustrating. What is going on? Girl, what's going on is your boyfriend's a man-child. He literally just wants you to do his laundry for him. Shit, bro, I hate to break this to you, but you are home Skilly Vanilli's mommy. Bro has an Oedipus complex, all right? He wants you to mom him, and then he wants to have sex with you. That might have not hit that well, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? Honestly, y'all, maybe I'm a dick, and I haven't been in a relationship in a while, but like, this would be kind of icky to me. I would be like, bro, I know what you're doing. I'm not stupid. You're trying to get me to do your fucking laundry. If a girl did this to me, I would be like, no, that's fucking weird. Be an adult. Do your own laundry. Yo, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the best laundry doer in the world. You guys know what I mean. But like, by God, every 2 weeks, that's a really long time to not do your laundry. I'll say that. I'm a once a week guy. That way it doesn't get out of control. He would have to do his own laundry if he wouldn't have a girlfriend. Or would he just not do it ever? Exactly. Like, I genuinely think he like is like, oh, girlfriend, that means I have a maid. That's so gross. Like, if I was OP, I'd be even more petty and just clean my clothes. Like, I wouldn't even clean his clothes. My verdict on this, get rid of the boyfriend. To me, y'all, this is just an inside look to how he expects the relationship to be for the rest of time. He wants you to take care of everything for him. He wants you to cook, clean, take care of his babies while he just sits there and games. He works 4 days a week. He can use one of those 3 days to do his own shit. There is an edit here at the bottom that says, thanks everybody for the replies. I still haven't heard from him. I will update as soon as possible. I just can't believe how much this hurts. I don't have any issues with him gaming. In fact, he's got me into playing Fallout 4. But unlike him, gaming isn't my only interest, and it isn't always my idea for quality time. Anyways, I'm turning in for the night. Thanks again. That doesn't really scream that she, like, got the point, but sure, fine, whatever. And then we got an update, January 15th, 2016, 5 days later. After 3 days of silence, I decided to call it quits. I tried texting him, but he wouldn't respond. Eventually, I called his cell phone and left him a voicemail explaining how deeply hurt I am that he yelled at me, and how I feel even worse now that he wouldn't respond to me. I told him I felt that it was important to me to have an open and honest communication between the two of us, and since I have no idea where he is or what is happening, I assume that we are over. I told him I wished him the best, and I hope he could find some happiness, and ended the call. 3 minutes later, my phone rings. It's him. I picked up, and he starts bawling about how sorry he is, and how he didn't want things to go that far. How all he wanted was to be able to play his games in peace, but realized he also wanted me. He asked me to take him back. I told him that he lost my trust and hurt me over a trivial thing. I told him I needed time to think about what I want. He hung up. So it's over officially. Part of me is really sad, but I know I'll get over it. Right now, I just want to focus on me, and when I do find someone, they will know how to do their laundry. Thanks, Reddit. That's absolutely the move. I mean, also, I didn't even touch on how fucking immature he went about all this. Like, ghosting your girlfriend for 3 days over her just, like, basically saying, I don't want to do your laundry for you. I'm gonna go do it myself at my own apartment. That isn't a ghost your girlfriend and throw a fucking whiny fit about it. That's a, you look at yourself and you go, oh, hey, maybe there's something wrong with me. But that would take self-awareness, and we all know how unself-aware a lot of these people on Reddit are. How did he expect that to play out in his favor too? Which, don't get me wrong, OP didn't really seem like they had the strong will. Like, yo, I really hope if you're getting bamboozled the way that OP was getting absolutely bamboozled, like, you gotta yoink on out of there, bro. If my boyfriend ghosts me for any amount of days, that's not my boyfriend anymore. Exactly, Sammy. Like, that's just not how you handle, unless you guys like say like, hey, we're not gonna talk for a couple of days because of whatever. If they just straight up ghost, that's like, fuck you. Not very demure, very childish. So childish. Especially in what, a 10-month relationship? Yeah, boyfriend of 10 months. Like, as soon as y'all make it official, you can't be fucking ghosting, bro. Oh my God, was he 30? Holy fuck, I totally forgot about that. What an abysmal age to not be doing your laundry, bro, and to be acting like a man-child. My fiance dumped me on Tuesday. Today, she tells me she wants the apartment to herself tomorrow for her Valentine's date. Original post, February 13th, 2014. I'll try to keep this short because I'm so stunned. I think I've stopped being able to process things. I've 26 male, been with my fiance 25 female for 4 years. We've been engaged since last year and actively planning the wedding. Last month, we moved to a new city across the country because my fiance got an amazing job offer. I wasn't happy about it since I had to quit my job and all our family and friends were in the city we left. I was kind of a jerk during the moving process, but I've come around since getting here. No, not the move to a new city that isolates the other person. Oh no, and only benefits the person that ends the relationship. No, that's down fucking tremendous, chat. Holy shit. My fiance kept talking about this guy, late 20s maybe, she worked with at her new job, and it made me uneasy. I went to a few after work events where he showed up and he seemed like a total asshole. Very full of himself, artistic type. I didn't like the way he interacted with my fiance and we would occasionally fight about it. Tuesday night, she got home really late, sat me down and broke up with me. She said she felt an immediate bond with this coworker that's stronger than anything she's ever felt before. This is from the woman who just a few months ago I held in my arms while watching the stars, as she told me she's never felt more at peace than when she's beside me. I laid awake on the couch all night, feeling like I was continually being punched in the stomach. I didn't fall asleep until 3 p.m. yesterday and stayed asleep until this morning when she woke me up. Basically, she's having this asshole over for Valentine's Day and demanded she get the apartment to herself. Between the move, all the deposits we had been putting for wedding stuff, and not having a job since we moved out here, I have literally no money for a hotel or anything else. We got into a big fight because I called her out and said she knew I had nowhere else to go. She said that's not her problem. She's done solving my problems for me. In parentheses, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Exclamation point. And that I needed to fix this one on my own. I guess his roommate is having a date over, so my fiance offered our place for her date with this asshole. She says this is happening no matter what I say. So yeah, what the hell am I supposed to do? Two options here. You probably do the healthy thing. Ask your friends, family for a small loan so that you can just hop on a flight, talk to the landlord about being off the lease because this bitch wants to pull some shit. Or we do the unhealthy thing and we ruin this date. Could it cause some issues? Yes. Could it maybe even backfire? Absolutely. Not denying that. Would this absolutely fucking dickhead of a fiance deserve it? Fuck yes. Also, kind of big question mark on my end. Did she give you the ring back? Like, to me, that's like, all right, give me the fucking ring. I'm out. That's what I'm paying for my flight, lease break, whatever. Like, please tell me for the love of God she isn't keeping the ring. Because by God, does she not deserve it? Chat, you know what? Why don't you guys help me out on this? What are some absolutely diabolical things this man could do to absolutely ruin this Valentine's date? What are some ideas? You know, just in case someone finds himself in this situation and needs to make it happen. I would hide things that might smell bad somewhere they can't find it and move out. Amra, I love how you think. Dare I suggest tuna in the vents? Write that down, write that down. Nefarious and evil Sarby versus benevolent and kind Sarby. We all have two wolves inside of ourselves. Take every light bulb. That is so unbelievably petty, but I'm here for it. Yo, that would be fucking diabolical. Like if you smeared shit on the bed, make them little poopy boy and girls. Bro came in hot. He's slurping up that water right now. Bro's he a thirsty man. It really do kind of be Beans in the wild right now, chat. Beans is beansing right now. I love him so much, dude. He's so silly. He's so rotund. My boy is round. Let's get through the relevant comments because it looks pretty deep. Comment 1. Hell no, you're gonna park your ass on the couch tomorrow and you're going to refuse to move. Come hell or high water. Do not leave. What a heinous move on her part. OP. I basically told her I would refuse to move tomorrow, but she said this man was coming over no matter what. Same commenter replied to that saying, well then, they're gonna have to deal with having a romantic date with another dude sitting on the couch then, aren't they? I mean, he could be doing a lot more than sitting on the couch. Just check my chat, you know? OP replied to that, I can't emotionally handle seeing her date another man right in front of me in our home. I understand I would fuck up their night, but I think I'd shatter on the spot seeing them together. Okay, well then I propose the tuna. Put tuna in microwave. Set microwave for 30 minutes. Do that with multiple cans. Put tuna in air vents, bedroom, fucking everywhere. Profit. And that's how you become a millionaire. Or maybe have $1 million lawsuit against you. I don't know. For legal reasons, this is a joke, by the way. I should probably say that. Someone's gonna get arrested and be like, I was only just listening to what Sarby said. Uh-oh. A commenter asked why they can't go anywhere else. OP replied, I asked why it had to be here. His roommate is using his place for a date. I asked why it couldn't be at a restaurant or a hotel or anywhere else. And then all she could do was talk about the ways I failed her in our relationship and that this time she wasn't going to fix things for me. Fuck her, bro. Someone replied, she is doing this intentionally. She has something to prove to herself, to you, to the other guy. Not sure, but it's about more than this date. I had to live with my ex for months due to being in a situation similar to yours. I started seeing other people, but always went out. That's what any decent person would do. Don't cave. Have a party, as others have suggested. She doesn't deserve any satisfaction from this. I fucking love that idea. Oh, you want to have a date? I'm throwing a fucking rager. You're trying to have a date on this table? I'm using this table as an elevated surface. I'm fucking here for it, chat. I'm so here for it. OP replied, this is so true. You should have seen her face as we got fighting over this. OP also added a couple of edits. I appreciate everyone telling me I should stand my ground. I told my fiance I wouldn't leave the apartment, but I don't think it's a threat I can carry through with. I will be emotionally devastated if I have to watch the woman I love and care for more than anyone else date someone right in front of me in my own home. Other suggestions would be appreciated. And then edit 2 is thank you so much to everyone for all your suggestions. I can't keep up with all the comments. It's almost overwhelming given everything that's going on in my life right now. I'm going to take a walk and try to clear my head. I just can't bring myself to tell my family and friends what's happened. It feels so embarrassing. I like the ideas about trying to reach a compromise. I have a lot to think about. No, don't compromise with her. Fuck that. Go nuclear. Dude, I'm in a fucking mood right now. But like, I'm usually pretty like, okay, maybe we should take the high road. Not this one. I want nuclear. I want this party. I want you to stink up the apartment. Shit, bro. Whoever suggested shitting in the bed, like even that, I'm like, let's fucking do it. If there's a time to go nuclear where a fucking jury might convict you, but also kind of be like, you know what? I get it. This is the time. Once again, for legal reasons, this is a joke. Another comment said, don't go. Is your name on the lease? Fight this Grinch. If I knew where you lived, I might come over and be your date. That's how much I think you should stand your ground. OOP replied, my name isn't on the lease since I didn't have a job when we moved out and my credit isn't the best. We thought it would be safer if she put her name on the lease since she's employed and has better credit. You know what? In that case, probably safer not to do anything here because like technically he's not a resident of the apartment legally by having his name on the lease. But that also means if this apartment happens to accidentally be damaged legally, if they can't prove that it was him, Home Skilly Vanilli is not liable. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And then someone replied to that comment, go home. Is there someone you can stay with there? If your name is not on the lease, get the fuck out and go no contact. OP replied, plane tickets back home are insanely expensive and it's money I just don't have right now. Someone replied to that comment saying, can you borrow the money from your parents? Surely they'll understand given that you're in dire straits. OOP replied to that saying, honestly, I haven't been able to bring myself to tell them what's happened. I'm so ashamed and embarrassed about it. They're gonna know eventually. You gotta fucking tell them. Like, you're in quite the pickle. If you're not gonna go nuclear and you just want to get the fuck out of there, like, you kind of have to tell them. The best revenge is to live a better life and get a better girlfriend, get a better place, and just pray karma calms down on her. I think you're right. He honestly should just cut his losses, go home. Like, clearly he's put in a really, really bad situation. He's not in a good mental space. But all I'm saying is, if he did any of the things that maybe we came up with ideas for, like, low-key, y'all, I think the party one is a great idea. Hey, it's his apartment too. At this point, he can throw a party. He can have a grand old time. Have some buddies over. They can rip shots. I'm too petty for a quiet exit. That's how I feel too, bro. Well, you know what bro should do? Have y'all ever heard Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball in G minor? I love that I've looked this up before. I can't believe I'm showing you guys this. This has some insane lore in my life that I cannot share with you guys, but this is just unironically one of the funniest things I'm ever gonna pull up on this stream. I came in like the this on full blast would be so wild. Like, if bro's gonna be there, he better be blasting that. Full speakers. Update February 14th, 2015, 1 year later. I've spent the last year working very hard to improve myself. Now that it's Valentine's Day again, I was thinking about what a dark place I was in last year. I didn't have the strength to post an update back then, but now that I've had some time to heal, I wanted to let everyone know how I'm doing. Part of the reason I didn't update afterward was because I was extremely embarrassed with how things turned out. It's only because of some intense therapy that I'm able to be honest and okay with telling the story. Basically, I decided to make one last big attempt at winning her, 26 female, back. No. Don't do that. Right after we got engaged, my ex had a close relative succumb to a lifelong illness. This relative was very happy that she lived long enough to see us get engaged. When my ex was a child, this relative had given my ex a charm that she wore all the time. A few months after the relative died, my ex lost the charm, and it was like the relative died a second time. As we packed up the apartment to move to the new city, I found the charm. Rather than give it back immediately, I decided that I would keep it in a safe place and surprise my ex with it at our wedding. I thought it would be a meaningful way to include this relative in a moment where she would be deeply missed. I understand the sentiment. I'm not sure if I fuck with it though. That sounds like more of a, hey bro, why didn't you fucking tell me that you found it type beat. My grandpa who passed away, I have his ring and I'm trying to think if my fiance fucking pulled this shit with that ring, I would be fucking pissed. I'm glad you guys are on the same page as me because I just don't fuck with that. Like bro, don't get me wrong, I don't want her to win, but also bro, you were not cooking with that one. Definitely the wrong move there. Somehow I got it in my head that if I showed her the charm on Valentine's Day, she'd remember everything that we shared and that I could cut through whatever fog she was caught up in. Oh my god, guy. I was under the impression that my ex would come home after work by herself to get the place ready for her date. I was planning to use this alone time to give her the charm and either win her back or lose decisively and leave before her date showed up. But instead, she showed up with the asshole from her job. That threw me through a loop big time, and it was incredibly awkward. He was patronizing. She became livid that I stole her charm. I struggled to articulate myself, It was the most embarrassed I've ever been. The only time I will say that I kind of agree with this girl. I'm not hoping for this at all. Like, don't get me wrong. This fiance still fucking sucks. I can't lie to y'all. There have been a couple of things to this post that have kind of been raised eyebrow about OP. And this is kind of the cherry on top for me a little bit. The she's done solving my problems for me. Not insanely raised eyebrow, but definitely a little bit. All she could do was talk about the ways I failed her in our relationship. Like, who knows? Maybe he was actually a great partner, but I couldn't help but raise my eyebrow at these things. Don't get me wrong. Still fucking hate the fiance, but I'm almost wondering if other than literally cheating on her partner aside, like, I wonder if OP low-key pushes fiance. Not saying that she should cheat on him. I want to clarify that. Not saying that that's okay, but like maybe she was pushing her to end the relationship. Oh yeah, he has bad credit too. I don't have enough evidence, but like there are a bunch of little things that are raised eyebrow. Bad credit, her saying that she solves all of his problems, her mentioning that he failed her multiple times in the relationship, and then now this kind of bad oversight in my opinion. It's not terrible, and I know it's coming from a good place, but also it's a little off. Like, I don't want to come down on this dude, but it definitely is a little bit off. I got out of there and literally walked around all night until it got so cold I couldn't stand it anymore. I went back to the apartment building around 4 a.m. and in what was a personal low point, I fell asleep in the hallway outside of our apartment. But that was the low point. There have been high points since then. I was able to move back to my hometown and my old employer gave me my old job back. I even met someone else and we dated for a while. We just broke up though. It sucks to be alone again on Valentine's Day, but I've learned it's okay to be sad every once in a while. And compared to last year, this year is practically a celebration. Therapy gave me a wonderful perspective on life and some great coping skills for when times get difficult. As for my ex, I heard she married the asshole guy from work. Her sister would text me occasionally and apparently her family hates the guy. Whatever, it's not my problem anymore. That's fucking crazy. Isn't it only been a year? Yeah, 1 year later. What the fuck? Whether or not OP's an asshole or not, I still fucking hope the fiance gets their karma. Like, I bet this guy's gonna cheat on her. 100%. I'd bet the house on that. Lastly, I want to thank everyone on Reddit sincerely. People offered to buy me a ticket home. Other people offered to hang out with me if we happened to be in the same city. Some people even offered just to Skype with me so I could have someone to talk with. Even though I didn't respond, your messages meant so much to me. Thank you. Shit, Reddit was so much nicer in 2015 than it is now. Holy shit. I wonder if anybody in the comments is pointing out what we pointed out. Like, don't get me wrong. I hate this fiance. I don't want to negate that. But are we going to point out the little things about OP that I'm like, Someone said about the charm, this is quite possibly the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Instead of immediately giving her back this unfathomably meaningful item, you hide it from her for months so that when she gets it back, not only does she have to grapple with the emotions of having it back after so long and the bittersweet reminder of her dead relative, but also that you had it for a long time and kept it hidden despite her grief. And you want that all to happen at your wedding. Thank you. Between that and the extremely vague, I was kind of a jerk during the moving process. It really, oh my God, that was another red flag we didn't even notice. It really felt to me like there was a lot more to his behavior that he wasn't sharing. Not saying that the ex handled everything well, but he feels like an unreliable source. This is exactly how I feel, just said so much better. Fiance shouldn't have done what she did. That being said, I'm almost willing to confidently say I feel like OP is leaving things out here. Bare minimum, not fully communicating how bad the things that he did were. I was on his side, but something about that idea with the charm just sent red flags off in my head, bro. Everyone sucks. I will say, I still want to put the fiance on tippy top. She sucks absolute ass, bro. No matter what your partner does to you, cheating on them is never the answer. Okay, wait, that's a lie. There are certain things that if your partner did stuff to you and you cheated on them, I would be like, you know what? Fair. But like in this case, with what we know, not okay. By the way, guys, I'm talking about like extreme things like R-wording or like abusing, like something very illegal. I want to clarify that. I'm not saying, oh yeah, you should just cheat on somebody if they just, kind of piss you off that day. Just want to clarify. Even if you're not the best boyfriend, just break up with them, then go sleep with your coworker. And for the love of God, if you're living with them and was previously engaged, don't have a Valentine's Day date with them at the apartment that they still live in. That's insane. My ex dumped me in January after 9 years together because he didn't think I was wife material. Now he reached out wanting to talk because he needs to get something off of his chest. We have a 27 female OP, 26 male ex. Originally posted to r/am-I-the-a-hole and r/advice. Original post April 8th, 2025. Please excuse this awkward interruption, but I just really quickly wanted to say thank you for watching the video this far. Oh, hi, Beans. Hey, buddy. I'm trying to shoot. Buddy, I'm trying to shoot a thing to You know what? You guys can just enjoy my cat while I do it. Oh, there he goes. Okay. If this is your first video of mine, I appreciate you giving me a chance. Feel free to check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I have over 100 reading Reddit videos, and I try to come out with 3 new ones every single week. And if this is like your second or third video, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It just helps me out, helps tell YouTube that you're enjoying my content. And lastly, if you've ever considered supporting me monetarily, I do have memberships on my YouTube channel. The different tiers give you perks like early access to videos, access to old videos of mine that I've privated, and even one that'll get you a signed photo from me and Beans. My signature Beans' paw print. Again, appreciate you for making it this far in the video. Let's get back to it. I was with my ex, who I will call Nate, because if I'm being honest, minus betraying a friend, I was a Cassie. Editor's note, I believe this is a Euphoria TV reference. I don't watch it, but that's what Google says. This has no bearing on the story. I'm guessing it has something to do with how Cassie and Nate got together. I have never watched Euphoria. Low-key, don't really fuck with Euphoria like that because it kind of glorifies drugs a little bit more than I'm happy with. I don't want to go too much into the details, but for the last 9 years, I lost myself to Nate. He was my world. Everything I did was for him. I helped him through depression, helped get/keep his grades up, even worked 2 jobs so he could focus on college when his parents disowned him for nearly 3 years because they didn't agree with the major or college he chose. Bear in mind, I was also a college student. When his parents started talking to him again and started to financially support him, we moved into a new apartment. Nate said he wanted me to quit my job. I didn't, because it was his turn to take care of me. For 16 months, everything was great. He spoiled me. Then, I noticed he was more interested in his new friends. At times, he ignored me completely. Back in December, he did a 180 and he love-bombed me the whole month. He really went out of his way to make Christmas magical for me. I honestly believed he was going to propose. On January the 2nd, he made me my favorite dinner and made this speech about me being his first love, how I've been there since high school. I kept thinking any minute now, he's gonna ask me to marry him. But no, he dumped me as his speech went on. My world... Wait, hold on. That is fucking insane to do. Wow. What an absolutely diabolical thing to do to somebody. Also, chat, I'm calling it now. Bro definitely cheated. But no, he dumped me. As his speech went on, my world fell apart. And as much as he tried to sugarcoat it, he basically said, "You were a good girlfriend, but that's what you will always be to me. A girlfriend. I don't see you as my wife or the mother of my children. Blah, blah. You served your purpose now. I don't need you anymore. Blah, blah. I need someone on my level. Blah, blah. You're a gold digger. Blah. I'll give you 30 days to move out." Holy shit, bro. A simple, "I don't love you anymore. We should end our relationship" would have sufficed. You didn't need to fucking dig a grave for her 10 feet under, push her in, topple the dirt on top of her, and then piss on the grave, bro. That is what he did. Oh my God. That's fucking evil. That's so mean. I couldn't speak, and he stared at me looking for a response. I think this lasted 20 minutes before he said he'd sleep in the guest room, then left. Strangely, I didn't cry or get angry. I just ordered cardboard boxes online, then went to bed. The next day, I waited for him to leave the apartment before I left my room. Then I called my boss and asked, begged really, if I could transfer anywhere. She told me there wasn't anything, but if something came up in my department, she'd consider me. I then reached out to everyone I knew that wasn't also Nate's friend for a place to stay. My cousin invited me to stay in her spare room for as long as I needed, and I could move in straight away, so that was amazing. In the 4 days it took me to pack my stuff and move out, I didn't see or speak to Nate. I doubt he even noticed. I didn't trust myself at the time to ignore a "you up" text, so I blocked him and everyone close to him. I even changed my number/email to make sure he couldn't reach me. The first night at my cousin's was the first night everything hit me, I think. I cried every night the first month. I honestly felt like shit. I thought about what Nate said over and over again. It made me feel so low, like I was nothing. He only stayed with me because I was just there, but thankfully my cousin sent for my mom, other cousins, and real friends to give me an intervention, which I badly needed. I believe that first month, I wouldn't have made it without my cousin. Oh my God. I'm still healing and waiting on that job transfer because I feel like I'm not in the same city as Nate, and I have a place of my own. The fresh start would do me a world of good. I thought by now I'd be a distant memory for Nate, but shockingly, he sent flowers to my job today for my birthday. which was on Sunday. Apparently, he went to my parents' house looking for me too, and my mom admitted he's been dropping off stuff before and tried to ask questions about me, but they told him to fuck off. The flowers came with a card saying, "Dear Cassie, happy belated birthday. I've been thinking about you nonstop for the last few months, especially with how everything ended. I need to get something off my chest that I feel will haunt me for the rest of my life if I don't tell you this to your face, but I have no way of contacting you. If it's possible, can we meet up in the near future? Nate." What could he want? What's haunting him he needs to say to my face? Everyone in my life is telling me to ignore him, but they hate him. I'm torn, but I can't lie. My curiosity is telling me meet him to see what he wants. Has anyone been in my shoes or in Nate's? Bro, he's gonna tell you that he cheated. Or he wants to get back together, but I think it's cheated. Just the way that he phrased it, I think he's like, "Oh, wee woo, I feel bad about what I did. I need to come clean for myself." Bro, I've literally fucking been in this situation. This person like apologized to me about something, and the little peacekeeper inside of me was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say I forgive them just to make them feel better. Now I look back at that shit, and I should have been like, fuck you. Get blocked, bitch. Like, that's what I want OP to do. Figure out where he lives and send the flowers back, stamped out, burnt to a crisp, and a letter with a photo of you going like this. That's what I want, bro. We're not keeping the peace. Step on Nate's throat. I bet it's something that make him feel better and her feel worse. This man is so self-involved. He is 100% only doing this for him, not for her. Let it haunt him forever. I agree, bro. You do not owe him any of your time. Do not give him any of your energy. He's already sucked away so much of it. Some relevant comments here. Top comment. Not gonna lie, I didn't read all of that. I just wanted to say, just because he needs to say something doesn't mean you need to hear it. I doubt it's anything that would add value to your life. He's likely wanting to alleviate guilt for some long ago trespass. OOP, my cousin thinks he tried to monkey branch and it didn't work out. Editor's note, monkey branching means he was already emotionally connecting, at least, with someone else before breaking up with OP. Commenter, seems like he cheated on you back in December before the love bombing. Now this dumbass cheater is probably engaged to the affair partner, hence the wife material comment. Fuck him. Let him implode that relationship just like he imploded yours. He's not a good human, and he's trying to make himself feel better about something. He doesn't deserve that, and he doesn't deserve your time or energy. OOP, you know what's pathetic? If he cheated and told me that was the reason he was breaking up with me, I don't think it would have hurt me as much. Low key, yeah. If he would have just said that he cheated on her, that's way better than the shit that he fucking said. This is some shit that you say to destroy someone's soul. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it doesn't feel good to be told that you got cheated on, but by God, is this arguably worse. So someone said to get checked for STDs. OOP said, I didn't think of that. Now I'm panicking. This commenter also said, let your job know to turn him away if he shows up. The last thing you need is him stalking you. I would say that's a good idea as well. Someone wanted a clarification on, is he blocked everywhere? OP replied, blocked on social media and my accounts are set to private. New number and his number is blocked and deleted. I didn't trust myself for the first few weeks because back in January, a "you up" text would have had me running barefoot at 2 a.m. Yo, we love the self-awareness, OP. Mini update in comments, April 9th, 2025, next day. He came to my work today looking for me during lunchtime. I told the receptionist say I was out and caught a ride home with a coworker so I wouldn't meet him if he planned to run into me by accident. Yo, this is fucking whack behavior, bro. That's some creepy shit. Like, low-key, someone or OP needs to yell at him and tell him to get the fuck away. Update post April 14th, 2025, 5 days after this mini update and 6 days from the original post. So we ended up meeting, and no, I didn't go to him. I had told the receptionist at my work if he came looking for me, just say I'm out for the day after he showed up once. I didn't want the drama of him around my job. So Nate just kept going to my usual places, like the grocery store I go to every Saturday evening, or the park I ran at Sunday mornings. His words, till he would eventually run into me. Yo, I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't do that. That's fucking creepy. Stalker behavior. And he did. Yesterday, he was waiting at the coffee shop I go to after my morning run. When I saw him, I tried to do a turnaround and leave, but he kept calling me. So I thought to myself, if everything went wrong, a coffee shop would be safer than my walk home. So I just sat down and asked him what he wanted. He gave an apology that wasn't an apology. You know, the type with, I'm sorry, but, and pity me. He blamed his mental health, his job, his parents, his friends, everyone but himself. I took someone's advice on here and said, cut the crap, I already know everything. He genuinely looked shocked and stared at me for a second. I guess he thought his coworker already told me everything, so he couldn't lie. Here's what really happened. He fell for a girl in his office. When he told me her name, I knew her immediately. I've met her a few times. He told me for the last 2 years, he idolized her. To be fair, she's beautiful with an amazing personality, and he hated me because I was the one stopping them from being together because his coworker was too classy to be a side piece. When he broke up with me, he confessed to her that he was madly in love with her, and he ended a 9-year relationship to be with her. Well, here's where it gets funny. She doesn't even like him, LOL. She called him a piece of trash and told him if he ever spoke to her outside of work, she'd report him to HR. So I asked him, what has any of this got to do with me? Like, we are over. I clearly cut ties. There's no reason for us to speak. He wants to try again. Promised we'd get married before the year ends. That we belong together. I told him, no. I'm nobody's second choice. He threw me away after 9 years and said some pretty cruel things to me, and now he thinks if he snaps his fingers, I'll come running back. He tried to beg and had fake tears. He tried bringing up the good times in our relationship. Fucking hilarious that this girl wasn't even fucking into him. It wouldn't have been good even if she was into him. That being said, it feels so much better that this girl was like, you're a fucking piece of trash, stay away from me. What a dumbass for thinking, oh yeah, bro, you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna go to the girl that I ended things for the other girl and tell her, you know what? We're gonna be married within the year. Like, this dude is delusional. Like, does this guy walk around thinking that every woman ever wants to sleep with him because his shit don't stink? That's literally the vibe I'm getting from him. He's just like, oh, dude, any girl wants to fucking sleep with me. My fucking dick is so big and I'm so fucking cool. Like, it pains me to know that people like this actually exist. Let's fucking send them to a mental asylum so we can study their narcissist ass brains. Give him a lobotomy ASAP Rocky. I told him to please leave me alone as he wasted too much of my time already. I texted my cousin to meet me at the coffee shop. He kept saying nonsense, even suggested if I went to couples counseling for a few months, he'd leave me alone. The 20 minutes it took for my cousin to arrive, it felt like 20 years. That's a fucking threat. If you just do the thing that I want you to do for me, I'll leave you alone. Girl, I hope you're recording this conversation. If a fucking crazy ex ever rolls up to you and wants to have a conversation with you after literally stalking you, record the conversation. I don't know legally what you have to do so. I think you probably have to let them know. Although I actually think there is a way where you don't have to let them know. I don't know. Still, bro, record that shit. In the end, I just stopped listening and stood at the counter making small talk with baristas till my cousin arrived. She told him to fuck off, and if he tried to follow us, she'd call her brothers. He stayed in the coffee shop as far as I know, and we just went home. That's it. It's only been a day, but I feel like it's over and I'm free of him. I hope bro fucking picked up what OP was putting down, but I just feel like someone like this is not going to. That's fucking scary. Okay, let me look at some of these comments. Okay, someone basically saying you're being stalked, change your routine. You dodged a bullet. People basically saying, I hope your job has an opening in another city. Me too. Wow, that's fucking terrifying, bro. That man is not mentally stable. Get as far away as you can. Listen, I would not bet money on this guy leaving you alone. I really wouldn't. I think this guy's fucked up in the head. That's wild. If a crime is being committed, it is legal to record. That is so good to know. Yeah, for real. He left a 9-year relationship for like something that he didn't even get confirmation. That's insane. But what do we expect from a dumb man, you know?